Hey, this is Ryan of rm-sounds.com, and I'm back today with another video for you. In this video, I'd like to discuss a couple creative uses for Ableton Live's Legato clips. For those of you not familiar with Legato, it's a clip setting found in any audio or MIDI clip that affects the default playback behavior of a clip when you trigger it. Rather than playing back from a specified start point, usually at the beginning of the clip, what Legato will do is look at the last known playback position of the previously played clip in that track and pick up where that clip left off. For example, if you have two clips that are a bar long and you play the first clip for 2 beats and then trigger the next clip, the second clip will start playing at beat 3 rather than the beginning of the bar. It'll start playing 2 beats into the clip. So to demonstrate this, I have put together a few MIDI drum loops here, and they all have a bit of a different feel. I've got one or two that are kind of in a straight 4/4 feel. One's got a bit of a triplet feel to it. I've done my stretch notes polyrhythms technique here to get a 5 to the quarter feel, and I've also got a 6/8 groove as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the straight and triplet feel, and I'm just going to play them back with no global quantization. I'm going to play them back with Legato turned off, and this will be very familiar to you. What you're going to hear is just a lot of kick drums as I jump around between these two clips, because there's kick drums programmed in at the beginning of the bar, and we're just going to be jumping to the beginning of the bar over and over again. So this is what that sounds like, just for reference. So that should be very familiar to you. That's kind of Live's default playback with the global quantization turned off. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn Legato on for both of these clips. And the way you find Legato is down in your clip settings area, down here in the lower left corner. If you don't see your launch window, click this little L down here. That'll bring up this launch window, and among other settings, you will have your Legato button. Go ahead and turn Legato on, and now what's going to happen is, as we switch between these two clips, it's going to preserve the playback position of each clip, meaning that if I play this straight clip and then go to the triplet feel clip and back to the straight clip, no matter when I launch it, the straight clip will be back in time with where it was when it was originally triggered, meaning our little side stick hit here is always going to be on beat 2 and a little after beat 4, and all our kicks will be on beat 1 right here, and it's going to stay musically in time with all the other elements in our song. So to demonstrate that, so you can hear that's much more musical when it all stays in time like that, and we're not randomly triggering at different points in the bar the beginning of the clips. If you were triggering, large increments like, a bar long global quantization, it would all still be musical, but you wouldn't be able to jump around to different points and grab different sections from each clip at different points in the bar. So this is useful for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you all of my clips that I've programmed out here, just so that you can hear what we're working with. And I'll set my global quantization to 1 bar so it's all lined up right. And here we go. So you can hear every clip has a very different feel to it, different time signatures and stuff like that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to play out this song, this little groove I've got going here for you, and I'm just going to jam out. I'm going to put Legato on all of these clips just by selecting all of them and clicking Legato. And I'm going to set my record quantization to 1/16. I like working with this because all of these clips are quantized And if they are quantized, using a global record or global quantization is going to keep everything in time, so I'm not accidentally triggering halfway through a MIDI note, for example. So I'm going to just play this out on my APC 40 and just kind of jam out and see what I can come up with, playing along to this little loop that I've recorded here. So let's do it. So there you go. Had a fun little jam there. I'd probably clean that up a little bit more in a studio environment, but you can hear that it was very easy for me to create a very rhythmically complex drum part from very simple elements. All of these clips are only a bar long. They took me next to no time to program out, and you come up with a lot of ideas that you probably wouldn't come up with just programming the whole drum part out from scratch. So that's a really fun technique. It's really easy to do. I encourage you all to try it out for your drum patterns, try it out for melodies and whatever. Just having subtle melodic or rhythmic variations in each clip and then just jamming out with your APC or whatever MIDI controller you might have. So next, I do want to talk about the audio side of things. That's sort of, you know, your MIDI chopping of breaks type of thing. It's fun to play around with MIDI because you can go around and edit it later on and move things around. Just record all those clips to the audio track and edit it later. But you can also use Legato for audio clips, and there are plenty of different applications that you could use. But one that I would like to talk about is using a bunch of different effects. So what I've done here in this example on track 2 here is I have recorded the first drum loop, just that straight 4/4 loop. I recorded that out to audio, and I stuck an instance of Native Instruments guitar rig on top of it. And I cycled through just a bunch of presets, effects presets, and recorded all of those as audio clips, 1 bar or 2 bar audio clips. And normally I don't like to use presets in my own production. I probably go through and build my own sounds, but for the sake of this tutorial, presets works fine. So you can, if you have Guitar Rig, you can try out these exact sounds on your loops. But I'll play a couple of those for you. I'll also switch this to 1 bar quantization. So that's just a few of the ones I have here. You can see I got a whole bunch of them. And one thing that you can do, or another thing you can do with Legato is, if you turn Legato on all of these, I've already got it on, yeah, and switch your quantization back down to a 16th or something, you can jump around from all these different clips, and they will all keep their same playback position in the loop, but you, in a sense, will be shifting around, triggering different effects by triggering different clips. So to show you what that sounds like, so that sounds really cool. In an IDM setting, something else you could do is play around with follow actions. So quick rundown of follow actions. If you're not familiar, follow actions are just little ways of programming logic into Ableton to tell it to do something after you've triggered a clip. Whether that's play the next clip down, play any other clip in the track, or whatever. And you can specify how quickly after you trigger the clip you want this to happen. And you can also program in a bit of probability. So you can see down here in this follow action area, you can have, this is your time that you're going to be working with. So I've set it to 2/16, the equivalent of 1/8. It sounded pretty good when I was playing around with it earlier. And then you have two sections here with two different follow action probabilities. So I'm just going to play with one for now. And I'm going to select other. So this is going to play any other clip in the track effects version. If you selected any, it would play any clip, including possibly the one that you're currently playing. It would repeat that. But I'm going to select other, and I'm going to set my probability to 1. So now we've got a ratio of 1 to 0, which means it will always play the one on the left side. If I wanted to select a different probability, like play the previous one to the one that's currently playing, and then I selected a different ratio like 1 to 62, then there would be a far greater probability of it playing the previous than any other in the track. But I don't want to have any probability. I want it always to trigger a different clip in a random order. And then what's going to happen is when I click play on the first or on any clip in this column here, it's going to play that clip for 1/8 note and then jump to a different clip for an 1/8 note, and then a different clip, different clip, different clip. And we're going to get this really cool effect variation happening, sort of random, but it's going to retain the structure of the groove because we're using legato. So to play what that sounds like. Sounds very cool, very IDM, and that's basically the concept. These are two very fun things you can do with legato clips in Ableton Live. I'm sure there are many other things that you can come up with. If you got any cool results from this, let me know, share with the community. Don't hog it all to yourself. But that's the technique. I'm just going to play you out with the rest of this song, and thanks for watching. You guys have a good day.